On November 10th, 2009, my brother Michael Rosegger was involved in a serious two-car accident, and after that, life changed for us all. We taught you how to talk and showed you how to crawl. We raised you on a pedestal and hoped you wouldn't fall. You grew up, became a man, and found your inner voice. We provided you with direction, but let you make the choice. One fateful night, blazing a familiar trail, a casual midnight drive, totaled the Toyota and mashed your melon. You're lucky to be alive. You pushed and pulled through the coma, an unbelievable fight. You demonstrated lots of progress. The future's looking bright. They painted a grim picture, never again to ride a bike. But they don't know you like I do, my big brother Mike.
Mikey was, he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bad kid. He was just very rebellious, and he liked to skip school a lot. He was the life of the party. He was a real class clown.
You know, he was always pretty much of a rebel of a kid. But when he had his own place, I think he really got a little bit wild, and they were having parties, and a couple of times the cops got called there.
It was just kind of crazy. I mean, he was too cool for his little sister, so we didn't really hang out much. I wasn't very close with him at all. And he didn't live with us. He lived at my dad's old house. And so we didn't really hang out. He didn't ever really come to visit. We didn't really see each other very much. We would pass each other, and of course we'd say hi, and we'd say love you.
Horrible. I think it was November 10th, but actually around midnight, so it might have been November 11th, which I think is also his mother's birthday, of 2009. I got a dreaded phone call in Dade City saying that Mikey was in a very serious car accident on Rockridge Road, and he was being transported to the emergency room. And I don't remember the exact details, but it was pretty much that it was going to be hit or miss whether he's going to come through this or not.
First got the phone call that Mikey was on his way to the hospital. It was an awful kind of phone call to get. It's like every parent's nightmare. I was asleep. I jumped into my clothes and drove to the hospital crying, hitting my hands on the steering wheel, praying, that he would be okay.
My stepdad, the night it happened, came in my room, and it was on November 10th, 2009. He came in my room and he woke me up and he said, "You're going to Brooke's house." And Brooke's my best friend, and I was like, why would I be going to Brooke's? So at first I didn't think anything of it, and then I asked him why, and he said, well, your mom can't bring you to school because she's on her way to the hospital to go see Mikey. He was in a very bad car accident. And at this point, I was just kind of thinking, he's going to be okay. It's not that big of a deal. He just did something stupid and he'll be fine.
And he was coming from this direction at about midnight on November 10th, 2009, and he was driving a Toyota Corolla, and he was coming in this direction, and as he was coming up on the bridge, he crossed the center line and overcorrected and was headed for the ditch, and then overcorrected again and slid broadside into or T-bone into a pickup truck that was coming from that direction, right on the other side of that bridge.
I don't remember him saying if he was going to live or die or whatever. All he said was that he's in serious condition, and he bopped his head a good one. And so here we are, and I saw him, and he looked like a mummy. His whole head was in a bandage, and I just lost it. Oh, my face screwed up, and I just was trying not to cry in public, and didn't do a good job of it, and I just felt blood vessels bursting in my face that would have hurt me more than it hurt him. At some point, not long afterwards, he was awake, but it was not the Mikey that I knew. It was sort of like the brain and mouth were not connected.
And eventually they put in a feeding tube because he couldn't follow the directions to do a swallow study. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to aspirate anything before they would give him any regular food.
Well, at some point he was well enough to move over to Joy Fuller, which is a specialized brain injury rehab center in Winter Haven, and he said he had a long road ahead of him. I was like, we're with him, man. Hour-and-a-half drive every day, maybe twice a day, who cares? And they were wonderful there.
And we could start seeing improvement. And then all of a sudden, they had him out of a wheelchair, and he was walking. And we would do laps around the floor. The floor was like a rectangle. The floor that he was on, it was actually, I think it's the 7th floor of the hospital. And we would do laps. And one time, he thought it would be funny to try and run away. He started running, and he got away from us, and he got in the elevator, and he was trying to go down because he wanted to leave. But he wasn't allowed to leave yet.
Today he's wonderful. He has some short-term memory issues, and he's the same old Mikey, but he's better in a lot of different ways.
And today he's happy, he's funny, he's always happy. He's nice to everybody, and he's like my best friend.
They said, oh, beware. You gotta get tough because these brain patients, they're miserable, they're angry, they hate the world, they're gonna cuss, they're gonna throw things, they're gonna have a bad attitude. And you know what? Mikey broke the mold, because I can tell you, since the day he got out of the hospital, he's got a wonderful personality.
I don't remember much from that car accident. It was all a big black hole. But whenever I came out of that car accident, I had to go to a rehab place where they had to teach me how to talk and walk again, because I could not do that at all. And now I like to hang out with my buddy Tim and play some pool, play video games online, and I like working for my family company, which is Rosegger Aquatic Services. We spray plants out, in invasive plants in the wetlands, and it's pretty wonderful.
Oh, Mikey's awesome. I mean, every time he comes over, it's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, oh, here we go, another episode. Just like your favorite show that you watch. It's like, all right, hey, here goes Mikey. Awesome, man.
Somebody said, yeah, Mikey, you've turned over a new leaf, and he said, no, I have a whole new tree.
You met him today, you wouldn't know he had a brain injury. You'd have to sit down and grill him or administer some type of psychological test.
So that's cool. We went from not talking because he was too cool for me, and now we're best friends and we go to the movies together. So it's cool.
You have to follow your dreams, even if they are. Some people say that they're out of line, that it's not possible. You should not believe it, because anything is possible in this world. The reason why I survived that car crash, no clue. But I have a purpose in this world. That's what I've learned from it.
That again. Do you know where you are? Open your eyes. Kinda? Where are you?
Dog. Club.
Say hospital.
Hospital. Don't drink and drive. Nothing good comes from it. It's all bad.